Being a Smash tuber, sometimes you had to put yourself through a bit of torture, apparently. A Minecraft movie is that torture. To put it simply, this is a lesson of how not to make a movie based on a Smash Brothers franchise. Because from the get-go, it fails at everything to do with making a movie. It fails at establishing character, it fails at establishing motivation, and it fails at sympathy. From the very beginning of the film, we start with a huge expository dump. Instead of digging to the core of what makes our main character, we are told what he is outright. Steve yearns for the mines, as they made him infamously say. And his only hurdle, a children not allowed sign. Talk about weak. Okay, Jared Hess, Mr. Director, why does Steve want to mine? I found a severe epidemic in the world of Hollywood. They seem to be particularly allergic to the idea of answering a simple question. Heaven forbid Steve start in Overworld, this wouldn't have been an issue. Steve could have been his own race, and Steve could have had other Steves teaching him how to mine. It could have been a regular pastime. It could have been a rite of passage. No, they just want to go for the isekai route. They didn't want to give him any family ties or any sort of psychological motivation or even a spark to push him into the idea of mining. He just is. Then when they establish the MacGuffin, they call it a thingy. I'm sorry, that's not irreverent, that's childish. The entire beginning of the film is all an exposition dump. Constant narrating. Do they expect all children to be idiots? To be dumber than a sack of hammers? Because our second protagonist is the Garbage Man, who uses zingers like, here's a hot garbage tip. How is that endearing? He is what trope makers call a butt monkey, as in the character who is the butt of the demeaning joke. He's incompetent, terrible at fighting, and terrible at being a gamer, even though he's an award-winning gamer. His choice of style doesn't help much. Hot pink, how very flattering. In this film, they do everything in their power to try to emasculate him. They don't even try to make him likable. He's just dumb. It reflects another terrible trend, removing the masculinity within the man, which I find very interesting. They decided to make the chiseled man not be Steve, but the round man be Steve. Does that make any sense to you? I frankly blame Jared Hess. His casting bias is what I think the culprit. Because, fun fact, this movie was originally directed by Sean Levy, the genius behind Free Guy, and now the famous Deadpool and Wolverine, which were frankly much better films overall. I don't know what Warner Brothers were thinking.
To be able to create a game world, a fictional world with no rules and where everything is possible, where literally the world can reshape visibly and physically around you, that was every director's dream.
Sean Levy knows how to make a good video game movie. They didn't allow him to do it. I don't get it. With him, we would have had real Minecraft Steve without a beard.
I am Steve.
Which is now standard. We have regressed. This film has a severe handling on the concept of a character. Speaking of which, we have another protagonist by the name of Henry, who happens to be our sole builder in the movie, which makes no sense. You're making a movie about a survival building game, and you only have one main big builder other than Jack Black Steve? In order to gain our sympathy, they gave him the lost parent trope. His mother died, and now his sister, Natalie, a la Lilo and Stitch, has to take care of him, being called outright a guardian instead of his sister, who has to work at a potato chip factory, but also loses her job because of her relative. Just like Lilo and Stitch as well. Her character is as undercooked as her tater tot pizza, which ironically gets more plot points than her in this entire movie. Her main job in the story is to be the straight man to the garbage man. Our last character is Dawn, who happens to be a real estate agent, who also runs a petting zoo. Gee, I wonder if she'll be important to the plot because she's good with animals. Really, that's her only redeeming quality in the entire movie. I hate to say it, but she's the token black character. And then this movie has the gall to have a side plot with a villager named Nitwit who happens to get together with Jennifer Coolidge's vice principal character. Oh no. All I can say is that Nitwit is actually voiced by a very prominent IT Crowd cast member. Then we have our main antagonist, Malgosia, the piglin ruler of the Nether. Her beef, or shall we say, pork, is that people laughed at her when she was dancing at Nether's Got Talent. I'm not kidding. So that's the reason they give for her wanting to wipe out all of creativity. That is a very strange and weak motivation. So we get her instead of the Ender Dragon. We do have Enderman. He's in the movie. And he would have been a better antagonist and a lot more interesting, but they chose the Piglin leader. Would you believe this movie had 6 writers, with 5 doing the screenplay and 3 doing the story? I'm honestly not sure what happened here. This film is a mess. It completely lacks focus, understanding of Minecraft, other than starting with wood as a beginning material and knowing what certain items are, but they don't actually have natural progression from wood to stone to iron to diamond. Yet they show an actual crafting table, but Henry doesn't even use one.
This place makes no sense.
Yeah, you got that right, Natalie. And no chutzpah to actually show characters that look like the ones from the game. I'm talking to you, Jack Black. It has no semblance of a story. It has no character arcs whatsoever. It has no stakes whatsoever. And the only redeeming quality about this film is that Zombie is good, Enderman is good, it has Mark Mothersbaugh as the freaking composer who worked on the Lego movie! Why didn't they use that as a template? It was made by the Warner Brothers! Come on! And with how things are going, it's going to be a success. Because Snow White exists.
Didn't even make back half of what they spent on this movie. And you know it's just gonna get absolutely obliterated by the Minecraft movie in like a couple days. The funny thing is, I'm sure the Minecraft movie is and it's still gonna destroy Snow White. Like, dude.
And it absolutely freaking did. Because Snow White got $3.5 million for previews its first day. Whereas a Minecraft movie got $10.5 million for previews. On the first actual day, No White got $16,255,317 versus a Minecraft movie which got $58 million. which, by the way, is more than what the Mario movie got on its first day. This is going to be a success, though it's still a polished turd. Thankfully, not a socialist one. So I give this hot garbage 2 stars out of 5. This is for a very small demographic. It is not for me. No. This is the movie that has non-creative people talk about saving creativity. It's a mess. Frankly, it's a mockery out of the blood, sweat, and tears that this franchise has been given throughout the years. It has enormous potential that even I am not aware of. Because, honestly, I don't play Minecraft. But many people do, including 2 children of mine. And they would be mad at the state of their own game that they love so much. Even though I have absolutely no attachment to this game, I can see how little they cared about giving this game its due. It's a travesty. Can you believe Weta worked on this hot garbage? The games themselves have cooked up much better stories than this. And frankly, I don't know how Notch was okay with this.